Hey guys, do you want to know how simple it can be to make $10,000 per month online as a business loan broker? So if you're looking online right now for ways to replace your current 9-to-5 income, or even just to make more income than your current 9-to-5 provides you without having to work crazy hours, all from the comfort of your own home, well, let me tell you something. Becoming an online business loan broker may actually well be the perfect opportunity for you. And no, you actually don't need any to do $1,000 per month from any location actually globally. So whilst a lot of us do this stuff from home, what I want to kind of share here is that as long as you've got an internet connection, you can do this anywhere, right? So just let that possibility sink in for just a second. Now, if what I've shared so far is appealing, then stick with me, because in this video, I'm actually going to explain how, as an online business loan broker, you can replace your current income. Or you can simply create an additional stream of revenue. So really, whether you're just getting started as a broker right now, or like a lot of folks, you're actually online and you're searching for some simple online business where you can predictably scale your revenue without spending money or working crazy hours, you have found the right video, guys, okay? So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Gavin and I am co-founder and CEO of the Pro Commerce Capital Brokerage, which is, as I say, an online brokerage catering to business owners and real estate investors in the United States, serving all 50 states. And we've also got the Pro Commerce Broker University, which is an online training program offering one-on-one daily coaching and support as and when you need it. We basically train anybody to do exactly what it is we do to make 10K plus per month online. And we're so confident of that claim, we actually even offer a money back guarantee. Now, with all of that said, let's actually get on with the point of this video. If you're like me, you're probably thinking right now that I've basically made some pretty big claims, right? 10K plus a month's a pretty big claim. And there's a lot of hype out there with others making similar types of claims that really never really come true, right? You may even have tried some of these different ideas or different training programs with zero results. You may even be thinking that what I've said is BS. And to be frank, guys, I really don't blame you. There's so much trash out there. And in all truth, if you've tried and failed at some of this stuff, which I did back in the day, it's not your fault. So first, what I want to say is that don't believe anything I say here. Go and do your own due diligence and confirm it. And heck, you know, even if you want to book a call with us, I will introduce you to folks that are doing exactly what it is I'm claiming on this video right now. This is not one of those hype-driven get-rich-quick schemes. This is a legit business. And really, like any legit business, it takes work to achieve success. So I guess I could actually say that if the idea of work puts you off, this is not the video for you, okay? But if you're serious and you're looking for a genuine business and you aren't afraid of a little work, watch this until the end, because I'm going to be drawing back those curtains on a very simple strategy that we actually use to get to that 10K plus per month figure. Now, if you've never heard of business loan brokering, what I first need to explain really in simple terms is how do we make our money? Because you're going to need that context to understand the strategy that I'm going to share in this video. Now, we basically help business owners or real estate investors access funding by introducing them to lenders. Now, these aren't banks, okay? These are what are known as alternative lenders. This space has boomed since 2008 because the banks have increasingly become more and more restrictive in their lending guidelines, which is not the same for the alternative lending market. Now, again, to be clear, that isn't to say that anyone can just rock up and get funding. There are still obviously guidelines in place. But if you know what you're doing and you know what you're looking for, then what we do when we introduce a qualified business or real estate investor to a lender and they fund that deal, that is actually where we make our money, because the lender then pays us a commission, which can be in the low thousands, or if we're doing this in the right way and we're working smart, we want to be going into the tens of thousands for each deal that we fund. And there's a bit more to this, obviously, but that is the general gist of things. So when I say you can make 10K plus a month from home, okay, this is not a stretch. This isn't pie in the sky stuff. It's absolutely real. There are plenty of brokers out there that do this. And that 10K is actually one of the early milestones that we like to achieve. But that obviously is not the point of this video. I wanted to give you that context, okay? I'm going to share one of our strategies so that you can understand just how simple and viable this business actually is. So now we know how we actually make our money, let's really dig in here in this strategy. So remember I said that we work with business owners and real estate investors. Well, this strategy is one that we use with real estate investors. And really, just as there are a wide variety of real estate deals out there, there are actually also an equally wide variety of investor types out there too, and all of whom have very different objectives in their businesses. And once you understand what differentiates one from the other, you're basically going to have a solid foundation that this method actually relies upon. So first, what I want to do is help you understand your niche audience, for this strategy. So let's first start by separating the commercial investor from the residential investor. And for now, don't worry about what is a commercial real estate investor. Really, for the purposes of this strategy, that is not that important. Okay, although I will say this strategy will work with a certain group of commercial real estate investors. But I actually want to focus on residential real estate investors. Now, why? And it's really simply because they're very easy to find, and there are tens of thousands of them out there all across the United States looking for their next fix and flip deal. So residential investors it is. Now, we do need to break that down further, okay? Now, there are three main types of residential real estate investors. You've got the pre-investor, you've got the passive investor, and you've got the active investor. Now, our focus here is going to be on the active investor, and we're going to pursue one specific type of active investor, the active fix and flipper, okay? Now, why do we want to do that? Very simply because, with the exception of a few locations in the US, you probably would even know a lot of these locations yourself. There's lots of fix and flips going on, right? As brokers, we like to follow the flow of money. And in the world of funding, the fix and flip market basically needs the funding that we offer. And so just to support my statement there, I want to give you a quick fun fact. In 2020, according to a study by Atom Data Solutions, approximately 241,630 single family and condo properties across the US were actually flipped. And that number has not reduced during COVID, guys. So there's a ton of opportunity out there for you guys, okay? So as a qualifier, I'm going to define an active fix and flipper because this is important for what we want to do next. And we want to be looking for those that are currently flipping at least one property a month, so 12 a year, okay? Now, you may be thinking that's a lot, but honestly, that's really a pretty normal figure for the professional investor who does this stuff for a living. So that's our target audience that we're going to be pursuing. Now, there are many different types of funding solutions available to that active fix and flipper. So when we are speaking with one who wants some funding, we're going to be asking certain questions to qualify them for that funding, okay? And broadly, qualifying means that we know they're likely eligible for the funding based on the answers to the questions that we've basically asked them. And as a high level, what we want to do here is understand their investment history while also gaining some insight into their long-term and even their short-term objectives with their business. So fix and flip funding is one of the easiest investment strategies to understand, guys, which is why we like to start there. And this is really why I'm sharing this strategy right now and why we actually recommend those that join our training program start with those two. Okay, moving on. Let's pretend that we found the right solution for our new client and we've presented our funding package, our offer, and we've closed the deal, we've processed it, and the lender's basically paid us and deposited our commission. Now, I could actually shoot an entire 30-minute video on that funding process, but I want to fast track that to the strategy piece, okay? If you want to know more about this, we've got a ton of videos on that. And also there's a link in the description, so feel free to book a call with us, guys. We're not going to sell you anything. More than happy to share information and just answer questions. And obviously we've got a program, and if you want to talk about that, we will, but we won't bring that up if you don't want to talk about it. No big deal, okay? Anyway, what we want to do now, once we've funded that client, move on to the next one. Well, maybe we can do that. And if you want to struggle like a lot of brokers, that's what they tend to do. But have you ever heard of that saying, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush? Well, we've basically got a bird in our hand here, guys. Now we want to capitalize upon it. Now we're going to set them up so that we can get guaranteed business the next time. We want to be cashing in on another commission while on autopilot. And by the way, I just want to make something clear here. Whilst I'm focused on us here and how our commission comes in, this wouldn't work if there wasn't a ton of value in it for our client by offering this to our investors. Everybody wins with this strategy. Remember this, okay? We did our homework in the earlier stages, and we know that this investor is an active fix and flipper doing between 10 and 12 deals a year. So we've got those facts in place. So we want to reach back out to that client now. We want to present them with an offer that they absolutely can't refuse by setting them up with guaranteed funding and faster closing and all of their deals moving forward. Now, trust me on this. Guaranteed funding and faster closing is basically like a holy grail for an investor. Will have their full attention, I promise you. And what we do now is we present them with what's called a real estate exposure line of credit. Now, this is an absolute no-brainer for them, guys. An exposure line of credit is basically not something the investor can use to, run down to the local hardware store and slap a few buckets of paint and sheets on the drywall, right? Not that. An exposure line of credit is strictly asset-based and exclusively for the use of acquiring property. And in most cases, the term of a typical exposure line will be around 12 to 18 months, with some as long as even 24 months, guys, okay? So on average, we've got a lending amount of around 1.5 million, easy. The terms of the amount will be directly influenced by the investor's current cash position, their liquidity, and demonstrated history of project completions. So it's only for experienced guys. But having set them up with this exposure line of credit, our client can now go out and confidently make offers on properties knowing they essentially have the funds in the bank already, and they won't get tripped up at the closing table, which is very common for a lot of investors. But not only that, they're going to be able to use or close much faster than a typical fix and flipper with this funding line, often in like 5 to 7 days. And that time frame is huge for an investor. But there's even more to this. There's the best part now, right? You don't even have to be involved in any of this moving forward. The client's already been underwritten and approved. The only thing left to do here is due diligence on the property, and the lender handles all of that stuff too. And when the client closes, you basically receive your commission check, right? Hence the autopilot. Furthermore, whatever amount the investor has been approved for is not the actual ceiling. So in other words, what I'm saying is that they have access to this exposure line over and over again, and it's only limited by the outstanding balance on the term length. For instance, I want to just clear this up. If they have, say, a $1 million exposure line for a 12-month term, they could roll that over more than once, having access to 2 million or 3 million over the course of the 12-month period. With the rising cost of real estate these days, guys, that is not that difficult to do. So now we've turned our client essentially into a cash buyer. You see the exchange of value. We've given them the edge that they need to jump in front of their competition and close more deals and get them to the closing table way, way faster. So for some investors, this adds the ability to even attend auctions and actually make offers knowing that they have the funds to back up their offers and close fast. At this point, we now have sealed the deal as to the customer loyalty piece. We've offered a huge amount of value with this exposure line, and we've offered this product, right? It can actually transform their business. And for that, we get paid a residual income. But that isn't even all of it. Here's where the real magic happens. So all we now need to do is repeat this process with 9 to 11 more investors to build up a book of business, 10 to 12 active fix and flippers with this established exposure line of credit.
Bam! There you have it like that, all right?
And that's it. It's pretty simple, right? We now have a clientele of a dozen active fix and flippers. We're now closing in the neighborhood of, say, 10 to 12 deals a month in, month out on autopilot. Month in, month out on autopilot. Just look at the numbers here, guys. I'm going to break this down. And let's also be conservative. I don't want to hype this up. Let's assume an average flip funds for around 175K. We're currently averaging a lot more than that, and you can go to certain areas where it's even like $500,000. But let's be conservative and use the average commission of around 1,400 for that type of deal. And again, keeping things conservative, out of 12 investors, let's say only 10 close deals every month, okay? That's 10 deals, 175,000 or 1.75 million, which translates your average earnings to over 14,000 per month. 14,000 per month, okay? The numbers don't lie, folks, and this is, at the end of the day, a numbers game. And they're absolutely attainable, these numbers. However, I will be straight, it won't happen overnight, it won't happen in a week, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a business like any other business, and you've got to play the long game and take it seriously. But it's definitely achievable well within a year. And that isn't to say that you aren't funding deals and making money along the time frame of building things up to that point. Of course you are. You're doing the work, right? But this is just one strategy. And I can guarantee that if you are persistently consistent in your efforts, you will achieve 10k plus per month, because its numbers and the commissions are just so big. And also you could do this as a side hustle. The key elements of all of this strategy working basically is you guys. And all you need is 2 active fix and flippers per month. Not a lot, right? And it's not that difficult given the sheer volume of flips going on lately, okay? Now, if you do that today, not only will you be earning a substantial income along the way, but what you could also be experiencing is 6 figures as soon as July and August even. Depends on how hard you go at it. And there you have it. One very simple yet effective strategy to hitting 10k plus per month from home as a business loan broker. What's not to love about this profession? And guys, if that kind of makes sense, if you'd like to learn more about all of this stuff and how it works, okay, you can book a call with us. We do have a training program too, where we can fast track your results. We've got this one-on-one training program where we offer daily support. You're basically copying what it is we do, because we do this stuff and that's how we make our money. And also, if you do decide to invest, that investment is 110% guaranteed, okay? There's basically no risk. What we like to do on these calls is really just understand whether you're serious or not. Because of the training that we do, we don't want to be frank, we don't want to waste time with people. We want to work with serious people, because we know we can train people that take this stuff seriously. We're interested in getting deals funded, because that's where we all make our money. So with all of that said, guys, I hope you understand the strategy. This profession is nothing but a numbers game, okay? And I'm not talking about spray and praying numbers. I'm talking about calculated, sniper kind of approach to what we do, targeting our clients, doing the right thing by our clients, playing it smart, and then offering that no-brainer line of credit, exposure line of credit. And that is how simple this can be. So hopefully this has been informative. I hope you like it. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks so much.